Red Dead Redemption 2, as you already know it, does not have any difficulty settings, and we're going to be tackling why. And no, the answer is not because they thought we would be terrible at the game and we'd have to decrease the level, but it is because several other reasons. As always, if you like the video, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, that'd be hugely appreciated. Anyway, let's get right into it. Now of course, it's safe to assume that you guys have definitely already played many open world games that allow you to change the difficulty. Pretty much every open world game in the world has a difficulty setting, except for Red Dead. I'm not even sure if GTA has one, it might just be Rockstar that doesn't do them. However, we need to tackle why they don't do this. Because some players do end up struggling with a lot of the missions in some of their games, and also some players may just find the game way too easy, so they want to increase the difficulty to a harder level. So why don't they do this? Now, don't make fun of me because I know you guys make fun of the fact that I say immersiveness a lot. However, this first reason is of course the immersive experience that comes along with Red Dead Redemption 2's difficulty system. If you've watched a lot of my other videos, you would see the many immersive techniques that Rockstar Games has implemented into Red Dead Redemption 2, and difficulty settings is one of them. I haven't talked about it before, but it is one. See, the thing with Red Dead Redemption 2 is that Rockstar Games aim to create an immersive, realistic experience that mirrors the challenges and unpredictability of the Old West. Introducing difficulty settings could retract from this level of immersion. And it does kind of make sense, because this game is set around everyone just being like a normal human with no set health bars or anything like that. It does make sense that if there was a difficulty system, it would make everything a little bit unrealistic. Let's say if there was a hard difficulty, right? It would make all the enemies have a lot more health and do a lot more damage. Now maybe the damage would be a bit more realistic because we as players can tank a lot of health, but if the enemy themselves could also tank a lot of health, it wouldn't really make much sense. Now moving on to the second point, and that is of course balanced gameplay. Rockstar meticulously balanced the game to provide a challenging yet fair experience for all players. Adjusting difficulty levels could upset this balance. What I'm saying is Rockstar basically made the game as balanced as they could be. Because as you know, the game already involves a lot of shootouts, which basically means that there was going to be a ton of enemies, and more than likely than not, there always was. I mean, even some of the beginning missions in the game, like the train heist and also the shootout with the O'Driscolls in the snow, there are so many enemies that you and the Van der Linde gang are basically just outnumbered. Obviously they want to create an intense action-packed environment when fighting enemies, so that's why they have tons and tons of enemies attacking you all at once. Obviously they need to make it beatable still, so they make the enemies have a realistic amount of health, while you playing as Arthur or John have a lot higher amounts of health and can absorb a lot more damage so that you can play fairly. If you had the health of an NPC, you would probably die pretty much instantaneously as soon as you get shot. Now believe it or not having a difficulty settings implementation in the game is actually good for player skill development. Because obviously at the beginning of the game all of us are going to be pretty average in terms of skill level, especially in gunfights. Actually a lot of us are going to be pretty terrible. So the reason there is no difficulty implementation system was because they would help you develop your skills over time. See, Rockstar focuses on a difficulty system that is different to other games. Other games normally just have options that you can select the difficulty in, however Rockstar decides to increase the difficulty of the game over time. You'll see at the beginning of the game, when you're still learning all the controls and how to fight, there are fewer enemies than normal. Now spoiler alert, just look at American Venom where you have to literally fight an entire mountain of enemies all on your own, and then kill Micah, the boss. So not allowing to have players change the difficulty whenever they want actually gives them the opportunity to enhance their skill level naturally, and make them pretty good at the game. Now similar to what I touched on before, how waves of enemies increasingly get more and more so in terms of volume as you progress through the game, the next reason is dynamic difficulty adjustment. The game includes elements that dynamically adjust the difficulty, such as AI behavior, which helps tailor the challenge without needing explicit difficulty settings. So yeah, this is basically what I just said before. The game has its own ways of increasing the difficulty over time, as in introducing new enemies such as snipers, maxim guns, stuff like that, cannons like in Guarma. There's a whole bunch of different things that increase difficulty naturally, which play an integral role to the story and don't take away from the immersive experience. Now the next reason is, of course, focus on exploration. Now I've touched on exploration a lot in my other videos as well, and this is pretty much a given. If you did have harder settings on in the game, it would definitely make it harder to explore the game without being, killed, especially because this game has a lot of systems like the bounty hunter system and also being tracked by the law. RDR2 emphasizes exploration and immersion over traditional gaming challenges. The lack of difficulty settings shifts the focus from completing objectives to experiencing the world. And this is a pretty smart move by Rockstar. By not implementing difficulty settings, it essentially makes the player just have to accept what is there and then explore the world for their own. It helps them take away their thoughts from combat for a minute because they won't be worried on what difficulty setting will be best for them, but rather just experiencing the game for what it is and the exploration that comes with it. Now of course the next one is authenticity. The developers prioritized authenticity in their depiction of the era. A single difficulty level helps maintain this authenticity. Oh my god! I'll save you everyone! Yeah! Oh no! What the hell are you doing? Okay, so basically what is happening right now is that if these guys had... See, if my difficulty was high right now, I'd probably just be already dead. Because knowing Rockstar, they tried to make it realistic, considering they made Red Dead Redemption 2 realistic. Oh, oi! Anyway, so knowing Rockstar, they would have made that a lot more difficult because they would have made it really realistic. Anyway, let's look at what I did. Did I save anybody or did everyone die? I killed every single person in that explosion. Like I said, it kind of coincides with realism as well, because with realism, they wanted to make it as realistic as possible, obviously, and they had to make the humans have realistic amounts of health. And this goes hand in hand with authenticity as well, because obviously health conditions in the Wild West were a lot worse, so obviously if you get shot like several times, you're still gonna die. Like, I mean, nothing really changes in that department, I guess. Because like I said at the beginning of the video, Rockstar already has their own implementation of ways that enemies increase in difficulty, and mostly it's just the volumes of them. But now let's look at some positives of difficulty settings in Red Dead Redemption 2. Different difficulty levels would offer varied challenges, encouraging players to revisit the game and experience it in new ways. I mean, you guys know that I love making videos about re-experiencing Red Dead Redemption 2. If they had a difficulty system, you could try increasing the level each time you did it. Difficulty settings would also create a tailored experience. Players could choose a difficulty that matches their skill or desired challenge, whether they want a more relaxed or immersive style, or a more demanding and high stakes adventure. It's completely up to them. And I could also see Rockstar making like different cutscenes and different dialogue options if you are playing at a higher or lower level. Another positive is increased engagement. A well-designed difficulty system could keep players engaged for longer by providing a sense of progression and accomplishment as they tackle tougher challenges. Now, it could also change dynamic gameplay. Difficulty settings could introduce different mechanics or challenges, making the world feel more dynamic and responsive to player choices. For example, if you made a decision in a mission, higher level enemies would come out. And it would also introduce tougher enemies as well. Like I was talking about before, that may not be too realistic, but I'm sure Rockstar would find a way to counterbalance it. Now, it could also improve accessibility. Now, for those people that weren't really good at combat at the beginning of the game and they kind of just gave up with it immediately, and I know there's quite a few of you, it could make the game more accessible to a wider audience, including those who might struggle with certain elements of the game on a standard setting, so they could change it to a lower one. And of course, we're going to be talking about enhanced immersion again. Now, more difficulty settings could actually work as more immersive. A difficulty system could enhance immersion by aligning the game's difficulty with players' expectations for realism and difficulty. Like how I said before, there are a lot of enemies that attack you all at once in the game. What if you had a few but they did a lot of damage, or you had less health, making your health the same as theirs to make it more realistic, because after all, Arthur and John are humans as well. So it makes sense why they can't just tank 100 bullets while they're just running around. And I could definitely see this as being like a realistic option. And they don't have to be just restrained to combat. Considering Red Dead has a lot of exploration and a lot of hunting, there could be different types of difficulty settings for different things to do in the game. For instance, there could be a difficulty setting to make legendary animals harder to find or eat or harder to kill, or make predators more aggressive so you can't really go camping, or give wolves and bears and stuff like that more health. Anyway guys, that is it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it or found it informative. If you did, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated, and comment your thoughts on this difficulty system as well, and what you think Rockstar should do with it, even though we probably already know they're not going to do anything with the game for, the rest of its existence. But also just touching on that, PC players can also have difficulty settings modded into the game. So if you are on PC, make sure you do that, because it could give you some enhanced layers of immersion and also give you some new ways to re-experience the game for the first time, or just overall improve your experience. And also just touching on that, the PC is pretty much ready to go, and we're going to be playing some Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, which you already know it means some modded videos, and I cannot wait to share them with you. It has been a journey. So anyway, that is it for me. Hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya!